Hey everybody, and welcome. You're listening to the Hisessions Hawaii podcast, where we talk about everything local and beyond. I'm John Yamasato, your host, and joining me today is Devon Nekoba.
Because Kyle is sick. He just came back from a cruise.
Well, we'll see how sick Kyle is.
But, I don't think he's sick. I think he just doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, no. He had the sniffles, he said. So.
Yeah, man. I like anybody sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Before we begin, let me remind our listeners of all the ways they can stay in touch with the show. There is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Hisessions. You can go to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts to listen to the podcast. And, of course, you can email us at hisessions@yahoo.com. If you'd like to help the show, get more music on the channel, you can go to patreon.com and donate. There you get more involved with the show, come down to the shoots, hang out with us on the podcast, all that good stuff. We do have a new patron, so we'd like to thank Susan from California. Susan, right on. Thank you so much. And hope you got your shirt, because I did send it out a few days ago.
Oh, good. They actually responded to you.
Yeah.
Because that's always been a question.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, half the people that become patrons, I email them and I go like, hey, what size shirt are you?
Goes off into the
ether. I'd never hear from them again. No. But they keep donating, so that's great. But we want people to get their shirts, you know. Okay, thank you to Kupu Kupu Landscaping, Landscape Architects. You can call Kevin Yokomura, 808-722-8685 for a free estimate, or go to kupukupulandscaping.com to check out their work. Thank you to Fort Ruger Market. I did what I normally do, Rugerlicious today. Our guest had the Rugerlicious.
Yes, I did. I'm so afraid to burp because, sorry.
The whole thing.
Rugerlicious. I
Bang.
did. Thank you, Fort Ruger Market.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Devon had the plate A. You can find Devon, Kuma 94.7, and Kyle at highlifeclothing.com. I'd like to introduce our guest today.
Hello!
So I have Anette Arinix, amazing Anga?
Anga, yes.
Anga.
Anga
is how you say it in Samoa.
So you have the amazing part.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to die.
So they added that because of...
Oh, no. My story... Oh, no. How it happened, my doctor told my mom that, something's wrong. So, if she comes out or if she survives this, she's not going to make it through the night. So...
She made it through the night.
I did.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But then my mom wanted to name me, an A name for miracle, so she came up with amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you have all A's.
All A's. So Anga is the name of my dad's village in Samoa. Anette is the other half of my mom's name. Her name is Ane. And Arinix, I'm named after Phoenix, Arizona, just combined together because that's the last place my mom went before she had kids.
Wow. Wow, she put a lot of thought into the name.
I've known her all this time, and I've never known any of that information. Except for how to pronounce her last name.
Yeah. I did my research. So there was just an N in there.
By the way, just to warn you, John, at some point in time, you will be able to sit back, adjust the volume, and then just not do anything because we're going to end up talking about Gonzaga. Because the main thing is she and I both went to Gonzaga.
Go Zags! Gonzaga.
We will definitely get there.
So it's going to be a Gonzaga. At some point in time, there will be a Gonzaga podcast
portion of this podcast.
You will be non-existent because you didn't go to Gonzaga.
All right.
And then we're just going to talk.
Well,
just to
I
warn
should
you.
finish my intro by saying she's a comedian, actor, writer, producer, and all around great person.
Oh, thank you.
But I did prep her though. I said, hey, Anette, I know you're going to be here and we're going to definitely get your story, but we have Devon and the Kyle and the trip.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been great if Kyle were here because then he could extrapolate on it.
So sick.
But explain to us, where have you been? We did the podcast last week. You weren't here?
Ours was a little bit different from everybody else. The trip was actually an Alaska cruise. My wife decided kind of last year to start putting it together. And she said, it might be kind of fun to go with our friends. So Kyle and a bunch of other people, we were 25 because it was us and the kids, which was an interesting thing in and of itself, just trying to organize everything. We started in Seattle because we went to Seattle U, went to UW, went to Gonzaga, of course.
Yes, I was like, did you?
Yeah, and we went to Wazoo. My daughter was rolling her eyes because my daughter's going to be a senior next year. So this is the time, right, in the junior year when you go and you take that trip so they can take a look. You will know that pain soon.
Yeah.
How to put this? UW is beautiful. It is very, very big. Seattle U is a small school. I did not realize they were a Jesuit school like Gonzaga is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So same thing. You got to take 2 years. 2 years you got to live in the dorm. You got to take philosophy. You got to take religion. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have the same thought of creating a person as opposed to just someone who's going to, get their degree and bounce.
Yeah.
Wazoo has a lot of hills.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of bricks.
Don't recommend.
I have friends who've gone to Wazoo. They recommend it highly. I think if you get into the culture of the fact that Wazoo is, dude, it's pretty much that's all there is.
Yeah.
You are driving through what they call the Palouse to get there from Spokane. And Spokane is kind of in the middle of nowhere too, right?
Okay.
But from Spokane nowhere, you go to nowhere, and end up in Pullman, where basically it's the school. They have, I think they had 30,000 or 40,000 people in the town. And like 45,000 people in the town, and 37,000 of them are students at the school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's a state school. It's or some crazy number like that. But I mean, as soon as the kids all leave, there's nothing happening in Pullman. And it's a smaller town. The school is really big. And then we went to Gonzaga. I hate to say this because we are both proud alums.
You're a little biased, I'm assuming.
No, because the tour was kind of bad.
Oh,
why?
It did not impress my daughter at all, and the majority of it was because the tour guide was iffy.
Was it a student tour guide?
Yeah, it was a student, and she was always saying the word every 2 seconds, and it got to be a little
So did you like it?
Annoying. Yeah, did you exactly. Did you like it? And it was tough to like it because it was that. And she had on a t-shirt and shorts. No Gonzaga on her anywhere at all, which also was a little weird. It was a lot of tour. She did give a lot of personal sort of reflection on the school, which was great, but she gave so much of it that while we were walking past CM, Catherine Monica and Madonna.
Right.
So again, we're going to talk about this, the dorms. Okay. As we're walking past the dorms.
But did you see how fast? I asked about the
trip.
Yeah, no, it's going to go.
Bam.
It's going to go. Yeah, so we're walking past CM. We're walking past CM, and I'm telling parents, so this is Catherine Monica. This is where most of the freshmen stay and the sophomores, or they stay in Madonna. I said, usually it's a nice mix because it's boys and girls.
Right.
Women on top, men on the bottom. Madonna is girls, boys, girls. But it's a nice place for the freshmen to kind of congregate. You really form the major bonds for college in those dorms. So if your kids can stay there, it's great. I mean, it's not to say that the experience at the other dorms are going to be... I mean, I'm doing that as I'm walking while the girl is saying, yeah, so it gets frozen in the ground and we wait out here for the basketball game. And I'm like, really? Because my daughter doesn't want to go do any of that stuff. So I just felt really... I felt... My wife was even going, and I went, oh, man. So my daughter was not impressed. My wife really... enjoyed the school, and it was the first time that my wife had seen the school. Anybody in my family had seen the school besides me, so I was disappointed by that. If they ever come up to me and ask me about that from admissions, I will tell them the truth, because it was Gonzaga has so much going for it. You could easily sell the school, but you gotta keep them on a straight and narrow when you're doing the tour, because otherwise it got into this really weird weeds thing. Anyway, okay.
Well, and then you hear that, Gonzaga?
Well, since we start, you made me think of something though. But since we started on this topic, what made you choose to go to the Northwest?
Ooh, Actually, it was kind of weird. So somebody told me that I couldn't be a nurse. So then I was like,
Why not? Like,
I'm gonna show you.
yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then someone was like, oh, I really want to go to Gonzaga Nursing School. And I had like zero interest in going to Gonzaga Nursing School. But then they told me, you probably wouldn't do it. And I was like, yes, I will. And so I applied for Gonzaga Nursing School and I got in. And then I did it for 2 years and I was like, I hate this. But yeah. And that's
so we know how to motivate you then.
Yeah, just tell me I can't do it.
Yeah.
And I just has to be the right amount of teed off. If I'm too much, then I'll just go eat something. But if it's like just enough, then I'll be like, I'm gonna do something about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, both of us got to Gonzaga without really knowing what to expect, and so
Well, I did a program, and they told us like, you are a minority, be scared of everyone, and I was like, all the Hawaii kids are like, what? We're the majority, and then it wasn't the case. Yeah, they were right.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. When you go to Gonzaga, when I went there, she's significantly younger than me, but when I went there, it was 93% Haole people and like 7% minorities. So I got off the plane and didn't see somebody who wasn't white for like 3 days. I'm not even joking. And so the first couple I ran into, I was at the Bond, and I was shopping for a winter jacket because I didn't know anything about buying a winter jacket. I'm in the Bond, and this family of 3 people came up, and they were Asian. I was like, oh my God!
Yeah, that's how I was.
Same thing.
All the island people would be like, in the stores, or just in Spokane in general, would be like, Yeah. It was like everyone had this like understanding of like we got each other's back. Yeah, we are one.
And in that way, it was kind of nice because that bond that you form with the Hawaii people, or people of Asian Pacific, remains regardless. I mean, it doesn't matter what Asian Pacific group you're with. We're like, what's up?
Yeah,
Tongue, cheers, man.
That was true because
yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't appreciate Hawaiian music or Hawaiian food until I went to Gonzaga.
That's what I was just saying earlier. So I never really ate rice growing up because I'm Samoan, so we grew up eating like taro or like breadfruit. And then when I went away, I was like homesick. So I was like, there's no taro there. So I was like, rice. Yeah. Watery rice, because Gonzaga doesn't know how to make rice.
That rice was bad.
A watery rice. That's not good rice.
Yeah.
No.
It's like...
Or it's that Big Ben fluffy crap that you're
that I just pretend it's like Thai rice or something. Because Thai rice isn't the...
My parents had to ship me a rice cooker.
Yeah. I brought one up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it was the only way to survive.
Yeah,
but
I can imagine.
But we made it. We got out. So
okay. So now.
Sorry. Okay.
So
now
all these college things. So you went up early.
So did the college. We did the college thing. I do not recommend it. By the way, we went to 4 schools in 2 days.
Ooh.
I do not recommend doing that because it is a lot. There's because UW, all of the tours. There's just tons of walking. You're walking through the whole campus, and so it's like, oh my God, it was bananas. The easiest one was probably Gonzaga because Gonzaga is relatively flat. We had to walk up the hill to go from like the basketball court up past the. Sorry, I'm looking at Anette because she knows exactly what I'm talking about. But you have to take that turn and go up the road past right Cantor Monica and all those. So you had to walk up that. That was the hilliest it got. And everything else was kind of chill. But then after we did that, we went on our cruise to Alaska, which was awesome. Went with Kyle and his wife, and my family went. And it was the second time we'd been to Alaska on a cruise, but the first time on Royal Caribbean and the first time with a bunch of friends. And
so Royal Caribbean, I feel like a lot of people went on that Alaskan cruise, Royal Caribbean. You didn't see like more Hawaii people there?
No, actually, surprisingly, there weren't a lot of Hawaii people. Like you saw them, but very sporadically.
Okay.
But people normally, when the Hawaii people, when they go to fish. They go and get their salmon and all that stuff. I don't fish anymore, so there was no point in it. Plus, you're gonna stand outside freezing your ass in the cold in order and I'm not down with that. I'm not. Sorry, I live here, so I don't like the cold weather that much.
Yeah.
But it's nice for a change of pace for a week. And if you do go, I do recommend, if you can get a gang of friends to go, it's probably the best way to go, just because you kind of get to hang out on the ship, and for us, all our kids are kind of the same age. So as soon as they discovered that they were okay and they liked each other, they just would form a pack and go.
Oh, that's
and we were
great.
like, bye. And then the adults could kind of hang out, and there's a casino.
But what did they want to do?
Well, there's stuff for the teens to do: play soccer, basketball, do stuff like that. The only thing that they don't have on the Royal Caribbean ships that I wish they had was an area where teens can just kind of sit and be. So our teens all ended up on the stairs in between the floors, because it was kind of the only place where they could sit and just relax.
Huh.
And they didn't really have those places, because even the mess halls or the eating places, once you're done with your meal, you're supposed to leave. Like, they don't leave them open, because they got to change over from breakfast to lunch to dinner.
I see.
So they go, hi, you done? Okay, go. Here, give me a plate and go. So that was a little bit different. But it was really nice being with my friends. My only thing now is I stopped taking Bonine, the anti-nausea drug thing.
Oh, right. Yes.
So now everything's doing a little bit of this.
Yeah, no. I had another friend that he just went on a cruise too, and he said that they got sick after they got off the boat.
Yeah.
They weren't sick on the boat.
No.
But then after, when you get back to land, you're still kind of...
No. All morning while I was on the radio, I felt like I was leaning into what I was saying. I was like, what the hell's happening? And then I leaned back a little bit. So.
Interesting.
But it was a great trip. Got to see some really cool stuff. But most importantly, got to spend time with my friends who, as life goes on and you all have kids and whatnot, right? You just, like for you and your boys.
Yeah. Right? I see them once, twice a year.
Yeah. It's nice because it's a concentrated sort of injection of friendship with your friends. And you can sit there and program it so you can eat together at the table and you hang out and do all that kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, Annette, we're taking up all of your time.
Don't worry.
But yeah, it was good. Like, you should go with the drama troupe, like at
the bunch of theater people.
Yeah, like the bunch of theater people.
I feel like we love that. Everyone else would not.
Oh, they would. Oh no, I think they would actually enjoy it, because there's so much.
I mean, they'd have no choice. But
Yeah, but like the karaoke stuff, all that.
Oh yeah.
You guys would just have a blast. You wouldn't even need the karaoke music. You just be breaking out.
I keep a karaoke mic in my car, just like
the one of the ones that play through the radio.
Oh no.
Oh,
no. She has an actual mic.
Yeah, it just has its own speaker, and it's like gold or purple or whatever. I should be a salesperson for them, because I've sold like 5.
Really?
Yeah, just random people have been
I
love this thing.
It's got a speaker on the front.
I see. So when you sing into it, it gives you like effects and stuff.
Yeah, you can like turn up the reverb.
But you're singing to whatever's playing on the radio in the car.
Yeah.
I can see that being a good time.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
15 years ago, they started that in Las Vegas. I remember the taxi drivers would have it in their car.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd hand you the thing, and you'd sing as they drive you, because they want to get a better tip, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got one of our Uber drivers, or Lyft drivers, that was like that.
Yeah.
His whole back of the car was a plexiglass, and then he had like screens.
Oh, wow.
Really?
2 mics and lights and all kinds of crazy stuff. In fact, when I got into the car, I was trying to get into the front seat, because normally my kids, my family rides in the back, and I'd sit in the front because there's just no room. We were riding around a bunch of Priuses.
Right.
And so I opened the door, and the guy looks at me like this, and I went, "Hi," and I'm wearing a mask, and he goes, and I'm like, "Do you need me to sit in the back?" He goes, "Yes, I would prefer that." I said, "Yeah, but I'm wearing a mask." He goes, "Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's not as good an experience if you're not sitting in the back." And I went, "Okay." And then I sat in the back. I went, "Oh, I see what you mean now."
Karaoke. Yeah. Well, okay. So, Annette.
Oh my God, that was
Hello.
20 minutes.
I know.
I'm so sorry, Annette.
No, you're good.
No problem. I prepped her for this. I'm like,
Yeah, I wanted to hear about it.
I really want to ask Devon about it, because if we go a couple more weeks, it's going to be out of your brain. I want it fresh in your mind.
I do recommend going. I recommend going on the trips. I recommend going to Tracy's Crab Shack when you get to Juneau.
Ooh.
Because crab legs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm holding my hand. For those of you listening, I'm holding my hands about 14 inches
Foot
apart.
and a half, yeah.
Yeah. The crab legs are amazing. And if you were lucky enough to be the first boat that gets... That's the thing I'm realizing, is timing is everything.
Okay.
So make sure you are on the ship that docks first. Because if your ship docks first, you can run off that ship and get it. Because when we came in, it was Royal Caribbean, then it was NCL, right? And then it was Disney. And we had stacked up. And what was happening was when we were getting into Juneau, we were suddenly like the boat was rocking and we were going, what the hell is happening? I don't understand. And once we got to port, I understood. What the pilot was trying to do is he was trying to push like hell because he wanted to make sure we were in port ahead of the other two. Because if you get in behind those guys, we pulled into port and then we had to wait because we couldn't dock yet. Right? And then we dock and it's 45 minutes before the next ship can dock.
And in the meantime, you're running to the
In the meantime,
restaurant.
we're running to Tracy's Crab Shack. There's no line. We're like, yeah. Because otherwise, you got to remember, right? When all three ships are in dock, that's 15,000 people that have just suddenly appeared on the shores of Juneau, Alaska. And so they're all in the shops and doing whatever.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Or trying to get on the cruise.
I have not been on a cruise.
I'm not. The idea of a cruise just doesn't appeal to me. So when Devon asked me to go, it's not that I don't like hanging out with Devon and Kyle, but
that was part of it.
He's like,
yeah. Plus we'd be like, hey, bar guy that's got this open over here, can we have our friends sing? We have a guitar.
Yeah, that would have been the whole trip for me.
Nah. Just a couple days at least.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Anette now. But I'm glad you guys had a good time. I
do. I highly recommend it. If you've never been on a cruise, grab some friends, make arrangements to go, and do it. Because we, as time has gone on, and since I had a birthday, you realize there's a lot more time behind you, than there is in front of you.
Yes.
And we've, during pandemic and everything, we've had friends pass away, and it's really sad. It's a bummer. Annette and I have a very good friend who passed away, and
John.
Yeah, Johnny. And we were very blessed to know him, and he was just such a great supporter of the arts and all that stuff. But there were so many things he wanted to do, and he didn't get a chance to do it. But he lived his life as fully as you possibly can. So
yeah, from what I know about that guy,
yeah,
he had a good time.
Yeah, so it's important to seize those moments when you can and go do stuff, and go do stuff with people that you like. If you go on the cruise with just you, it is just you. It's nicer to go with your friends and
right.
hang out. Yeah.
So speaking of things you love, Annette, how did you end up in comedy?
Ooh, just always cracking jokes, I guess. I don't actually know because I did theater and then
And she's naturally very, very funny.
Oh, thank you.
The first show she was in was Not a Time, and she was hilarious.
Yeah, that's the first show actually. Once Upon Not a Time, and I met Devon at that, and that was my first show coming back home. I want to say I came home at 2015. And then I think I was saying earlier, I don't speak Pidgin. I didn't speak Pidgin. So then I had to, everyone in the cast had to teach me how to walk and teach me how to act.
You did pretty well.
They kept saying I did wrong. So Natalie took me to Pearl Ridge Mall and sat me down in front of the store and was like, look at the tittas. That's how you have to walk. She was like, and I'd be like, oh, like that one? And she'd be like, stop pointing.
Natalie was her counterpart in the show.
I see.
Was she Tita or Ete?
She was
Tita because you were
No, I was Tita.
You were Tita? Oh, okay.
Because her name on my phone is still Ete.
Tita Nui and Ete Nui.
Yeah. I think I got into comedy because, I think someone's are really funny, but I didn't really do a lot of comedy. I think the first real thing that oh my God. All these ideas came into my brain and they
This is why she's funny, because the ideas come in and she just let them go.
I just remember a lot of random starts with comedy. One of them, I remember I only did stand-up because they were giving away margaritas for $1 if you did stand up. So I signed myself up, and it was funny. People laughed at me or with me. I don't know. It was good.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Are you more a joke person or do you tell stories?
I think I tell stories more, but also I think I'm a really sad person. So I could cry and crack a joke, and I think if that's not your humor, then I'm not going to be funny to you.
But she's also a really, really good improv person. She's excellent at improv.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. I started actually getting hooked up with Hawaii Comedy Festival. And I think that was one of the first comedy things I did. in Hawaii. And then after that, I was like, ooh, I like this. And then I started writing for them. And then eventually I started producing for them. And then I met them actually through improv and I started doing improv because I was so shy. I don't know what happened. I got really quiet. And my friend was like, you need to try this. And then I kept going back because it was so terrifying. And now I talk too much.
And it's actually hilarious because when we met her during the show, right, we were all kind of meeting each other. She lit up when we talked about the fact that we were both from Gonzaga. But other than that, she was very quiet, kind of kept to herself, kind of did her thing. And then she would get on stage. And if you've never seen Once Upon Another Time, the part of Tita and Ete Nui are loud and brassy and super pigeon. They're like Tita Mok out.
Okay.
Right? And so the idea that she would be like, oh, hi, okay, hey, yeah, uh-huh. And then all of a sudden like, hey, you know what? And she was super loud. And we were like, holy shit, man. Where did that come from? And then every time I would see her after that. So that was the first time I saw her. So the shy Anette, I never really met that much. I mean, you'd see it once in a while, but it was almost like this switch that would go off in her. And she would all of a sudden become that character. Which is why I also think she's good at acting.
But that's part of the beauty of performing, though, right? You get to experience, you can put on a disguise almost.
Yeah.
And be someone that you've wanted to be, but were uncomfortable being, maybe?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think being on stage is like equally the most terrifying, but most comfortable place I like to exist in. Mm-hmm. So that's why, too, like, I love live theater and, like, feeding off that energy versus, like when we did like the commercials for Diamond Bakery, I love those too, but I remember like being so like, I'm gonna mess up, they can see everything, oh my god. And then with theater it's like, no, like the show must go on.
You just have to perform because only one take,
right? What are you gonna do, cry?
But I think when I saw you in Aihula at Kumukahua was really impressive because it was much more of a stretch for you dramatically. I mean, I'm sure you'd done dramatic stuff before, but I'd never seen it. I'd only see you doing broad comedy stuff. So.
Yeah, no, actually, that was my first like drama stuff was at Kumukahua because, and it was like my first straight play too. Everything's been a musical, so I love musicals, and this is not shade, I promise to whoever. But like I feel like with musicals, once you feel emotion, you can sing about it and kind of emote through that, so you don't have to like.
Cry or
you can feel it in a different way, and sometimes music hits more, but when you don't have the music and you just have to stand there and like feel this emotion, that's a lot more intimidating for me anyway, because it was like new musicals. But it was fun to do that. And then the story of Aihula, that one, I was a very mean person, so my mom was like, I don't like this. Like, you're so mean.
But even Conversion, right, of Kahumanu.
Oh yeah, Conversion.
That was another. Aihula is a show that was written by actually a friend of ours.
Yeah, Ryan Okinaka. Yeah. That was his first play I think he did for Kumukahua Theater. Now he's got 3
I know, he's done all these shows. We're like, dude, what up? But he wrote a show that basically kind of pieced together. He and his brother were working on a hula show. Okay. And the brother's a kumu and a kumuhula, and he had asked him to help write sort of a spine of a story to put these different songs together. So Ryan wrote that, and then COVID, and then like they couldn't do it, and so Ryan right.
Well, that one went before. I think like Conversion happened where like we did all of this rehearsal and built it, and then COVID happened, and then everything we did, and it was so weird because like in real life, like people are like, like dying because of this thing that's happening, and then at the same time we're doing this story where the same thing is happening in like Hawaii, and so it was like weird to see it like.
And our friend Buffy played.
She played Kahumanu.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's a drama basically about the time of Kahumanu and how she helped to perpetuate the power of the Hawaiian people. And yeah, it's just a fantastic show.
She's great. Kumukahua, just great.
Kuma does some really good stuff.
Really big about like supporting local, writing local stories, and for the people of Hawaii and the Pacific Rim. But like, they always cast me. I don't know if this as like, good. Well, as the person that gets beat up, and like, cries, and like every single show, I'm like, and then everywhere else I play like this comedy person, and then Kumu, I don't know, they take all their anger out of me.
So your comedy, oh geez, I just turned my mic up. Wrong one. Do you pull a lot from your family and your everyday life?
I do. I think every time I'm walking through, like,
you said Samoans are funny, but I
think Samoans are funny.
Not too many. You know,
you don't know that many funny Samoans.
Because they're quiet. Like me, I
yeah.
was quiet. Like, I remember even in band, like, I never said anything. And then I did talent show, and I remember someone coming up to me and saying, I thought you were mute. And I got that a lot. Yeah, you just have to get them talking, but then be careful, because maybe you don't want it, because then they don't shut up. Like right now. So, yeah. But some ones are really funny. I don't know. We used to sit in the back of biology class and talk about who got the worst spankings the night before. So I guess if you don't think that's funny, then we're not funny.
That's the thing, right? The Polynesian style of sort of correcting your children can be a little bit different. It can be kind of a lot. Sometimes, right? When people hear about it, they're like, "Holy shit! Wait, you did what?"
Right. I love watching it, and then the someone's like, "Ha ha ha!" Everyone else is like,
like, "Oh, child abuse!" You're like, no, that's like Tuesday.
Yeah, and Samoans are also known as like the cheeky race. So like they are known for, I guess, so like each Polynesian like branch has their own thing, and Polynesians are known as the ones that make a joke out of everything. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was telling her, we were having lunch earlier, and I was saying that my wife, you know, she was a nurse at Queens for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so she gets to deal with all these different people that come in. But we were talking about something about Polynesians or something. She was explaining that, oh, yeah, no, you know, as an Asian person, you just think of everybody as a one lump, like Polynesian. But she's like, no, in their minds, like, there's differences between all the different and even within even within all the Samoans, there's different, you know, where they come from and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like Asians too, right? Like people just think, oh, all Asians are Asian, but it's like, no. Different. They think differently about different Asians and stuff like that, and they don't like if you lump this Asian with that Asian.
Yeah, you can't call a Samoan a Tongan or a Tongan.
Yeah.
They don't like that at all.
Yeah, in your mind, you're like, oh, it's same. It's like, no, it's not.
No, really not. Really not.
Yeah. So do you find like now that you're out there and you're doing performing and production and writing and stuff like that? I know you've been doing it mostly locally here, but it seems as though, I mean, there's a lot of representation now in movies and stuff. You know, there's The Rock and Jason Momoa and all this kind of stuff, and that there's more opportunities for Pacific Islanders and whatnot in the entertainment business, because it seems like it's moving in that direction.
Yeah, I do feel that we are moving in that direction, and I feel like we're in a prime position to get it together and put our stuff out there and like show like we can be more than just like to number 1, 2, 3, and 4, or like you know, instead of just playing the roles that we are thought of to play, like now we can show like we can do more things. And that's kind of like the purpose of like Polynesian AF, is like highlighting Polynesians in comedy. And it's
tell us a little bit more about Polynesian AF.
And use the swear word. Use the swear word. It's okay, because we have the explicit signal, so we got.
Oh, is it okay?
We have the sign, so
Polynesian as fuck.
There you go.
But if you ask James, it's Polynesian Air Force.
That'll be James Money.
Yeah. I love James Money.
He's awesome.
Just good people. And I think everybody who like I worked with at Poly AF, like they're just such good humans. And I'd rather surround myself with good humans. Like they're also super talented. But I think like at the am I making sense? Did you watch The Office?
Yeah. He probably did.
Yeah.
You know that part where he was like,
I haven't watched that many episodes, but
he says this thing where he's like, we're in the business of people, so like keep people at your center. And I think like in trying to like build things and make opportunities, and sometimes it gets really stressful, like it's not happening as fast as I want, or like this is a lot of work and I still have to do a day job or whatever it is. But like keeping people at the center makes everything like worth it. And like after Poly AF, people in the cast would send me ideas like, hey, I think we could do this. And like that's like just makes me so happy is like you doing something and then realizing like, oh, I can do something else, or I can do this too. And it's funny that you say like you didn't know of a lot of funny Samoans, because actually the first Poly AF was me convincing these people like, hey, you are super funny and super talented, you can do this. And then being like, no, I don't think so. So then me as the writer writing all of this stuff around them so that they feel comfortable. And then it's grown. So now we're building sketch writers. We are under the sister umbrella. We are under the umbrella of Asian AF, which is a LA-based sketch comedy show.
Okay.
And they do a lot of things too with like KPSA, and they also have Filipino AF, and they have all these branches. So we're under them.
I don't know if there's a Japanese AF because we're not that funny.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm kidding.
We got Paulo Gata.
Anyway, sorry.
No, but like a lot of the writers for like Asian AF and Filipino AF, like that's like their jobs are like regularly writing for TV shows and things like that. So they're so gracious to like be our coaches and like help us with that. So we are building a community here so that when opportunity comes, what I want is for people to be like, I can do that, instead of being like, opportunity comes in like, oh no, I can't do that, I'm not ready for it. Yeah,
I think if you start and you give people opportunities on the small scale, then when the big things come, like, okay, I've tried this before,
it's like building belief in people, which sounds super cheesy, but I think it's just so magical because it just really changes how people see themselves once they are like, hey, I can do it.
What gave you that spark? Was it Gonzaga? No, just kidding.
Yeah, no. No, again, like I am very used to people being like, you can't do that. And instead of like, I'm very blessed to like have the kind of family I have, because like being mad at it and staying mad and not doing anything about it was just not an option.
Not productive,
yeah. Especially too, like someone families, they don't deal with emotions, so do something about it or not. And I used to also work at a talent agency, and a girl came in, and it was part of my job to like sell her these drama classes and sell her these packages and be like, hey, you should do this, it would be great, look into it. And she said, what is the point of this? They're never gonna cast me. And like I felt that. But like, so and then I couldn't even, like, I was at a loss for words because I couldn't even be like, no, that's not true, because
look at me.
I couldn't say what at the time. I was like, well, I get it, I'm going through the same thing. So like, I just working on people's vision, I guess, just convincing people like the road is long, but it's worth it. But we got to start somewhere.
Well, it's a self-esteem thing too, I think.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own sort of way of getting therapy for that. So your self-esteem therapy has been doing all the it's helping other people do that. And it's great.
This is a total side tangent, but I like to creep on the Hawaii Reddit channel. So I just read through all this stuff. And so Hawaii Reddit is basically, it's just a Reddit thread about anything Hawaii. So people ask questions. There's a lot of people that ask like, oh, I'm moving to Hawaii, so what should I expect? Or we're going to go, or they put news up, like Red Hill was a big thing on the Hawaii thing for a while. People like talk about it on Reddit. But someone just posted the other day, and they're like, oh, I'm going to be moving to Hawaii, and my kids are half Filipino, half Caucasian. Is there, are they going to have a hard time, in a Filipino, like, are there Filipino people there or something like, and everyone is like, are you serious? That's a serious point.
Where are you coming here from? What?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Well, was she Filipino or is she Haole?
I think she was Filipino. I don't know. I didn't read through the whole post, so she's bringing her Filipino kids, and she's like worried that there's no Filipino people here.
Well, because I was going to say, if she's the Haole one, she's going to be bringing her kids, and her kids are going to be like, off and running, and she's going to be going, hey, what's going on over here?
I know. It was just so funny, though, because you brought up the Filipino AF,
Oh, yeah. They are who I first met, because they did a show through Hawaii Comedy Fest that Kimmy Bamilera produces. Love you, Kimmy.
Kimmy, you're awesome.
Yes. And they came down here and did that. And then seeing actually Filipino AF, seeing them was so inspiring because like other like my Filipino friends in the crowd would be like, hey, that's my uncle or that's my auntie or that they could relate. It was a way of kind of bringing everyone together, but through comedy as a medium. And I was like, oh my God, it'd be so great if like Poly AF was at that. And actually Kimmy reached out when I decided to move to Vegas and never come back.
When did you decide to do that?
I tried.
Oh.
But then like I quit my job. I used to work at the bank. It wasn't for me. And then I went to...
I used to go to the bank just specifically. It was here. Hey!
I don't know if I can say this, but I found out Devon was a member and I would call him all the time. Hey, Devon.
I get a call like, Annette? She goes, hi, I'm at work. I just want to call and say hi. Like, okay, cool. She goes, I don't know if I'm supposed to call you on your number. Like, well, Annette, it's fine. If you have my number, you can call me. It's no big deal.
That's so... Yeah, I used to do that. Like, hi. What a dork. Oh, my God.
No, it's fine.
All my friends. I don't know how I have them. Thank you. What was I saying?
Luckily for you, you're really talented. Anyway, you're planning to go, and then you decided to.
Yeah, I was planning to just dip and move to Vegas as a starting point, and just like figure that out. And then Kimmy actually reached out to me when I was there, and she was like, "Hey, what do you feel about like producing Poly AF?" And then she looped in Will Choi, who's with Asian AF, and then we kind of got the ball rolling. And I remember emailing her, or calling her, and being like, "Kimmy, I don't want to sound like dumb. Like, what if I'm like my ideas are not good? Like, I'm just so scared. Like, can you read?" And she's like, "Just trust yourself and do it. Like, it's fine." And then it happened, and then now we're on our third one.
Wait, so Polynesian AF is a showcase of talent of Polynesian comedians?
It's it's like a sketch skits, comedy show.
It's like an SNL.
Yeah, like SNL.
Yeah. So they'll take stuff that's important to the community and do it, and because it's people of that group doing the comedy, there's a connection to it, I think, that is probably not there if you have some mainland writer who's writing a skit. Like, write a skit about Samoan people being funny, right? And people go, well, are they just beating somebody up, or how does that work?
Exactly.
Are they taking their lunch money? Like, is that how we're doing it?
Beyond
like, no.
the titter.
Yeah, but it's beyond that stuff, and it shows that all the different races are all. I mean, when it comes down to it, the humor will always be that sort of grounding thing and connective thing. And we gotta give a shout out to Kim.
Getting people to laugh together. Yes, shout out to Kimmy.
She is relentless in her pursuit of bringing that part of it out, so that everybody sees that it's not just Kimmy Pomalero who's really funny and is Filipino and can produce all this stuff. That there's an Annette out there who can do it. There's maybe even perhaps like a James Monet who can do it. And it's just a matter of reaching down and helping out, because we're known as the Hawaii is known as the alma crab culture, right?
Yeah.
Right? You never heard of
crab
alma crab?
Bucket culture.
No.
Okay, so alma
crab. I know
crab.
what an alma crab is, but
so the alma crab example is that you put a bunch of alma crabs in there in a bucket, right?
Right.
When one tries to get out, the other ones will grab them and pull them in. Yeah,
I've heard this.
So that's always been the local thing. Is if you're local, the alma crab thing takes over, where somebody succeeds and they go, screw that, and then they try to drag them down, right? And so what's been interesting is with Kimmy, with Annette, people like that, it's a change in the sense that instead of being an alma crab that's on the bottom trying to rip somebody down, they're actually trying to put an alma crab on top of another alma crab so they can reach and they can get out.
I see.
You know, or if they do reach, then they got to reach back and grab somebody.
Help somebody else.
Yeah, which is a much better way to do it.
Yeah, I think like people like Kimmy's so great about creating opportunities and spaces for people and just sharing
She's like a one woman factory for that, man.
Yeah, she's so great.
Yeah,
it's just I will not run out of great things to say about Kimmy because I'm just so blessed.
Actually, we got to get her on the pod.
Yes.
Sorry,
sure.
Kimmy, we're going to be contacting you.
Yeah.
You're gonna come on.
Now, do you guys do anything like digitally?
Oh yeah.
As far as like putting it online and sharing it in that way too?
We do. So we have a social media, like we have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. I'm the one in charge of like creating it, and I'm not great at social media, so it is slow. But we have like filmed sketches that we've done. That I just need to.
Because when I look at the Instagram Reels, I mean, there's so many like just comedy things, and I don't know, to me they're not that funny, but apparently they're funny to other people.
Yeah.
It's also like the same thing kind of over and over. Well, also, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because, like, when writing more sketches, I was, like, in a rut thinking of a sketch through, like a 15-second reel, and it took me forever to, like, no, actually write it as a sketch instead of, like, oh, this is also funny and it's just a snippet, but it's, like, two different things. And
what about doing a play? When you write a play, you think?
oh, I'm writing one.
Are you?
I am.
Is it all secret? You can't tell anybody about?
I mean, it's just about me, I guess.
Okay.
And, like, family and, like, kind of that thing. And, well, it's not, like, me, but, like, pulling a lot of those kind of stories. And it's, it feels more like a, like, sitcom-y.
Oh, okay.
Because what I would love would be to create a pilot or something. So create a show that's like a sitcom pilot for like a Polynesian family that you could film and cast Hawaii actors and all that stuff. So anyway, that's my little thing. I'm working on it.
I don't think it's too far off in the future that you can probably do a sitcom filming, like just the average, I won't say average person, but someone that with some film experience can do. Because I mean, Hisessions was not a something that you could do more than 10 years ago, because just the camera cost and the size of the cameras and all that stuff was just high. And then over time, all of that's getting smaller and smaller and costing less and less. Like, that's why everyone can do a podcast now, because of the the production stuff is. And then you're going to get AI kind of stuff, so you're going to be able to shoot things easier. They probably can render in a background for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just got to keep working at it, because the technology is catching up.
It's getting there.
It's going to get there, I think.
Pretty soon the three of us won't be sitting here. We'll be just putting up AI bots and
we'll be holograms.
Let me ask you this, because you're an Apple guy, right?
Uh-huh.
What do you think of the goggles?
I have not seen enough of it to make a really informed decision. Mostly because the thing is almost $4,000, and I'm like, there's no freaking way my wife's gonna let me spend $4,000 on a pair of goggles. Plus, apparently the software, they don't have enough backup.
Right.
So right now it's just a giant screen you can watch, porn on, or sports or something.
Or movies, Devon.
I mean, sorry, movies. Sorry, movies.
Regular.
Did I say porn? I meant movies.
Yeah, it's interesting because on one hand, there's a guy that I follow. His name is Scott Galloway. He's a econ professor at New York, and he goes online, talks a lot about business and tech and stuff. And his feeling is just nobody wants to wear stuff on their head. So until the thing is light enough that it looks like glasses or something, he just doesn't see the viability of it being a big game changer. And but at the same time, Marquise Brownlee, who's another tech reviewer, actually got to use it, and he was saying that some of the tech in there is just like groundbreaking.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why it costs so much, because the drivers for the sound, the visual on the screen, all that kind of stuff that they put into it. Yeah. It's super, because it's like it overlays.
Do you know how it works?
What do you mean?
So there's no remote, there's no controls.
Yeah, no, it's all your hands. Yeah.
Yes. So no, but he said that you put it on, and it reads your retinas, so it can tell where you're looking. So instead of using a mouse, you just look at what you're going to click on. And he said that he tried as hard as he could to look at the smallest possible place on the screen. And the thing is so good, it could see exactly where he was looking.
Oh,
and then you just tap your fingers together, and that's your click for your mouse.
And
as long as your hand is in front of your body, not behind you, it'll. And he said that was the most impressive thing, was just how accurate so you no longer need a mouse. You just look where you want to, and you just click.
Yeah.
And it just clicks.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So something to kind of get excited about. I was thinking of buying one and just like keeping it in the box.
No, buy one and then let me use it. Then I don't have to spend $3,500. Do we have $3,500 in the?
We do not have $3,500.
Damn. Okay.
Unfortunately, we're just getting by right now.
Yeah.
So.
Can we talk about Gonzaga now?
What are you talking about? You talked about that for the first 20 minutes.
But I didn't hear from.
Oh my God. Okay. Go for it.
Okay, now do me a favor. Sell Gonzaga to my daughter.
Oh yes. Go Gonzaga.
Well, no, I mean,
Don't trust your tour guide.
But as far as your experiences with Gonzaga, because I just want to see if we're kind of on the same page. Because we both enjoyed going to Gonzaga. I did.
I did, but I will say I appreciated it more after I left.
Is that right?
I think because
Like what?
I think it was I didn't. Okay, like. You're filled with so much fear when you go in, at least through the program. So then my eyes weren't even open to
because you were there for the nursing program as well, right? So
Yeah,
don't they turn
I
a
was
fire
there
hose
for-
on you and you just kind of...
I was there and to piss people off.
Yeah.
Because anyone who made fun of me. And then I was like, well, I don't like it here either. I hate science. And then and then finally when I started doing what I actually liked and then actually majored in
Yeah, what did you get your degree in?
theater. No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just kidding. No. I
What?
did criminal justice and sociology.
Oh,
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, so you should talk to my daughter then, because that's what she wants to get into as well.
Oh, if that's the case, then Professor Vic at Gonzaga is my favorite human being. But
Really?
yeah, it wasn't until and also the kind of people you meet were different. And I remember in nursing school thinking you guys are nurses? You are awful human beings. And then I was in more conversations with that major where people actually talked about, hey, this thing is really messed up. What can we do? Instead of just staying mad and then questioning things. And I liked it. So yes, actually, I loved Gonzaga at junior year.
Once you got out of the terrible nursing program that you
Yes.
did not want, that you got in because they pissed you off and you wanted to get into
So
that.
actually, yeah, maybe that's good advice. Don't do things in spite of people. Just
Where
do
did you
what want.
live? Where did you live from freshman year, sophomore year?
I lived in Marion, which is the outdoor dorm.
Okay.
Because on the whatever quiz thing,
Yeah.
they said, do you like the outdoors? And I put yes, because I was talking about the beach. I was not talking about the woods. And I was everyone was like, yeah, we're going to go this hiking trip through the woods. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I hate it. So yes, I got out of the outdoor dorm. I think my sophomore year I was in Duso, which is the sophomore apartments. And that was a lot of fun, except for I lived on the third floor. And I played so many sports in school, or growing up. Actually, I played sports, and then I remember a day too of volleyball tryouts. I told the coach, I was like, "Hey, I heard of this audition. I'm gonna go over there." And then I just
And that was it?
Yeah, that was it. Until swimming. But anyway, I was more active. But then, so, you know what? To all college kids who may be hearing this, don't stop exercising. It gets so much harder. Just I thought I would stay active. Just
it's tough.
memory, I guess.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. It was one of the nice things about Gonzaga was the intimateness of the school. I think I've had a couple of friends whose kids went there. Or one of my friends whose kids went there. They did not have a good time. I think they played sports though. They played the organized. They were on the college volleyball team, and it was difficult. There was a lot of race stuff going on and things like that they're sort of dealing with. But I don't know, as a regular student who didn't have to do any of that stuff, I enjoyed it. I mean, I
wish I did more regular student things. I wish I did the tenting in campus. I didn't do that because I didn't want to tent in the cold for a basketball game.
Yeah.
So I did the artsy level, which I just sang at the games, and that was my
Oh,
ticket.
wow, cool.
Because I didn't want to wait in line.
But
now
by the
I
way,
wish I waited in line.
What she's talking about is much like a lot of schools on the mainland do. Gonzaga, there's not enough seats for the student section, so you have to go and camp out on the field or on a field that's just outside campus, and then they choose you, and if they choose you, then you get to go in and order. But dude,
the
it's
student section is unlike
it's January, man, so it's freaking cold, and the kids just camp out and try to get into the games, and our student section is amazing.
Yeah,
The
but I
kennel
don't
is
camp
fantastic.
in general, so I wasn't going to camp for basketball.
You're can I just sit in here? But that's the thing. The guide was telling us about all the different permutations about how you get in, and I went, oh, I don't think I would do that. But okay. But Gonzaga, they pride themselves, or at least the Jesuit schools.
So that you can also send your daughter or your children to
she's not
Gonzaga.
gonna go
Nah,
there.
she's not gonna. But they pride themselves on creating a whole person, and that includes critical thinking, stuff that people are missing nowadays. So would you say that that's true as well? that they concentrate on making sure that all of you is?
Yeah, I think so. Like my mind was definitely. I mean, before then, I'm sure my mind would have been open sometime or later. But getting there and they're like, I feel like sometimes you have questions about things, and if you ask them to some people, they take it as you're coming for them instead of like genuine, like you're just actually curious and wanting to know. But at Gonzaga, like, I mean, that's professors are really good and about like answering every single annoying question. And so that was nice.
Yeah. So that's our sales thing for Gonzaga. But if you have any more questions, you can always ask them.
I mean, look at Devon. Turned out all right.
I don't know if I'd look at that, but
Devon sang "No Diggity" at our friend's celebration of life. I just want to say, which was great because actually he requested "Too Close," so that
we were not doing a song from that. There was no way I was doing that song. But
okay, well, an hour just flew by, but we have one more question for you, Annette. Okay, so we asked this of all of our guests, and this is you're kind of young, so I have to rephrase this.
No,
I'm old. I'm 30.
If you were stranded on a desert island for the rest of eternity,
and
you could only stream 3 artists worth of music, what 3 artists would those be?
Okay.
So much pressure.
Right? 3 artists worth of music?
Yeah. You got it easy because normally we say albums, but we're giving you artists, so you can do the whole collection of people.
But if you have a favorite artist, you can do that too.
Okay, well.
Like favorite artist album.
Well, my favorite artist, and I know that's not a popular opinion, is Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Just because, I'm in love with Motown and, really being into Michael Jackson opened up he liked this. Okay, so that's one.
All right, so is there a specific album that you like more than others?
Past, History, and Present, which is probably
the greatest hits package. Okay,
that one. That's the one I had, I had all of his concerts.
Yeah.
So from a young age, I was copying him. My red raincoat was my Beat It jacket, and I had the sequin outfit. I had everything.
I don't see the kids doing that anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, they have zero imagination. You know why? Because they want to look cool. Look at me. I don't care. I just stopped caring. I'm the most uncool person.
When I was little, I would watch TV and then I would want to dress like that person.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but my kids don't care.
Yeah.
I'm still like that, where I'm I like that outfit. I'm going to dress like that.
Okay, so Michael Jackson.
I really like Alan Stone.
Oh, yeah. Alan Stone's
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter, yeah.
The third one, there's so many I could choose from. I like that okay, the third one is, so, I want to talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
I didn't know what it would be.
Did you enjoy your karaoke contest?
I did. It was fun.
Blondie.
Okay.
Well, that's going. Wow. Okay.
Let's see. Okay, that's a good mix of different genres.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. If you're stuck on the island, you'll be listening to a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I know this one went by kind of fast because we had Devon to catch up on too.
Devon loves Gonzaga. That's the takeaway.
I do. Yeah. I just love it because it was a very formative thing for me. I think everybody has those moments in life where you have something happen that helps to make you who you are, and Gonzaga was definitely that. Just because, if not for that, I don't do the critical thinking background stuff that they make you do that you freaking hate, like a post ergo propter hoc argument. What the hell is that? There was just stuff that I didn't understand at the time that I was taking it. But now, in the times that we're living in, right, being able to take a bullshit argument and take it apart and go, okay, that's why that's bullshit, right? People don't have that anymore. They just go, oh yeah, that's true, because that's the thing I believe. You go, no, that's not. That doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it real. It just means that's what you believe. And what you believe may not necessarily be true. And I didn't learn that until I went to Gonzaga. Because in Gonzaga, you get, and she'll vouch for me on this, you get priests teaching religion courses who go, hey, the Bible, that was just kind of a guideline, right? It's not, it's full of allegories and stuff. It's not the real thing. Like there wasn't an actual bush that talked. And people go, what? And you go, yeah, but you have a priest telling you it. So you go, oh, okay, wait. But it's because in the Jesuit tradition, it's important that you question things. And it's okay that you question things. That's what she's learned too, right? That if you question things with an open heart and an open mind, and you're not trying to be a dick, you're just sincerely asking, why is this the way this is? And if they answer you in a way that makes sense, you go, okay. The problem is, like she was saying, sometimes nowadays, when you ask people, why do you believe that, they take it, like she said, as a personal attack. And it's like, no, I'm not attacking you personally. I'm just asking you about your argument and about the thing that you're telling me that you believe is true. And if I tell you, well, explain that to me, and then it doesn't make sense and I can take it apart, then maybe you need to look at what you're believing and go, well, maybe I need to talk to this person more, because and we don't have enough of that. Nowadays, it's like, believe me or die. And I don't dig that. I don't think it helps anybody at all. And I honestly did not learn that till I went to Gonzaga. And I think, and hopefully Annette will agree, that that's part of it. And I don't know why. I don't know where that came from. But when you get out of the school, you get out into the world and you go, oh, okay, I can question stuff. And it's cool.
Well, if I were your parent, Devon, I'd be very happy. Because I paid thousands of dollars to send you to Gonzaga, and at least you got something out. Like I feel like you came back with an open mind.
Yeah. And it's funny because people that I know who've thought about Gonzaga, thought about trying to go, I mean, the cost can be extraordinary, and there's no way they can do it. But others go others worry about going because of the religious aspect of it. I know my daughter brought that subject up to me, and I told her, and she doesn't believe me because I'm dad, but I told her, they don't care. And it's not a thing of they don't care because they just want your money. They don't care because for you, if you come to Gonzaga and you find that the faith program part of it is important to you, and you want to do that, go do that. But if you don't, it's totally okay. They just want you to be the best version of yourself.
No matter what the faith is, right? If you feel like you believe and you understand, then you shouldn't have a problem with people coming in because you're comfortable in what you believe in and you feel like you can explain it. And
but some people believe, right, that if they have this belief in something, right, that the belief is unshakable and there's no way you get them off that, even if you're going, but see that right there is wrong. Like, you know, and pointing that out to people is tough because the way that Annette does it, she asks it in a very honest, innocent way. She's not trying to be a dick. She's not trying to say, well, that's wrong. You know what I mean? Because some people approach it that way. She never approaches it that way. But if she's approaching it that way and they go, well, you suck, well, then that doesn't really help.
Well, that's
anybody.
what I'm saying. It's like, you know, the people who just lash out back probably don't feel like they have a good grasp on, they think they do, but they don't. You know, that's why you can poke holes in their argument. But like, you know, any Christian priest or it doesn't have to be any religion, but the ones that I've talked to that they're very confident about what, you know, and the reason is because they feel like they studied and they got their thing together, you know. So
I think that just goes into like conversations in general. Like I think realizing that some people, like on either side, maybe the other person that's not a conversation they're even prepared or ready to have, regardless of where they think they are with it. And then it's not personal, their reaction. It's just they're not ready.
Yeah. Anyway, we got deep in that last. Okay.
So that's the part I was waiting for because she's a very deep thinker. It's always fun to talk to her about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Well, we'll come back one day.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again. Until then, thank you to all of our subscribers. And
shout out to Brooke. Thank you for thinking of me.
See you next week. Okay. Aloha.
Bye.